is changing the game for app development. Firebase is here to help. Easily.
Hey everyone, welcome to WITcode, where in this video we're going to learn how to use Docker to build and run Node applications in development and production. So before we begin, let's talk about why we would Dockerize a Node app. Well, Dockerizing a project is always a good idea because it solves the "it only works on my machine" problem by providing a consistent and isolated environment. For example, Dockerizing a Node app will ensure that the program behaves the same on a Mac OS machine as it would on a Windows or Linux machine. But to start this project, let's begin by initializing an empty directory with npm init es6-y. This of course creates our package.json file variable. So now let's create a development node Docker image. So we're going to be working with development first. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to create a file called dockerfile.dev, which will build our node image for development. And so if you don't know, a Docker file is simply a text file that Docker
At least maybe I can do. At least maybe I can. Maybe train myself and stuff. How do I start this? How's it doing that? Disable monitor. Yeah. So I hit here. I'm still here. Alright. There. Still there. Still here. It's not that. With this then. No. Might as well start off. What else going on? It is not. Hearing myself kind of loose, man. Guess I'm gonna ignore that. Yeah, so let's
uses to build a Docker image. So this Docker file will tell Docker how to build a Docker node image for development. And once again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some code and paste it in here. And so what each of these
see. Comments and all of the most of my okay.
These lines does is the first one here. It's telling Docker to build a node image using version 20 with the container also using Alpine Linux. And what that is basically just a small build environment that includes
Alpine. So should I do this? I'll choose Alpine. Should I read it in? Then we'll have node env. Node env. I use these seems to be like my communication skills as well as I don't know if I need to sorry if this is my laptop. Well, this is what it is for now. Changes to now. What's that really? I don't know. I hope he shows us what the setup my skill.
Includes a minimal set of tools and libraries to have a node application up and running. Next, we set environment variable of node env to development.
Yeah, env port. Env work 3000. Alright, let's see. What's next?
And the port environment variable to 3000. Next, we set workdir or work to working directory to -app, and that makes it so any following commands, so copy, run, add, instructions like that, will be executed in the -app directory. So when we copy over this line, package.json, into our container, it'll be placed inside this app directory. When we run npm install, it'll be ran inside our app directory. And so, of course, this copies both our package.json and package.lock.json.
I think I had that. Oh, I did. Okay.
And then we run npmi to install the node modules. And finally, we use cmd, and we're going to run an npm script called start dev. So this cmd, what it does is it runs a command when the container's running. So when our container's up and running, it'll run this npm command. But let's create this npm, or this start dev npm script. So I'm going to do that inside, of course, package.json. For scripts, we're just going to paste in start dev like this. And now let's set up a script to build this Docker image, or to have Docker build this for us. And like I said, we're going to do this with an npm script, and I'm going to paste this in and go over it. So what it is, I'm going to paste it in here, and it's called docker build dev. Essentially what this command does is...
Does it seem like... What does T mean? My node image F Docker file doctor. How does T mean? They have a dot T and flag. Copy the volumes from one of my containers to the new content. I said T. Okay, so I guess. Right. Can I find it here? I'll do this. Small. It's in there. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay. So it's right here. Things are so slow for you. Well, according to this, I don't know where it's pulling this information from. Okay. What does launch container? What does a dash do? Okay. What is it? Fly. What is exactly? With other things. Pseudo. PT1. PT1. Control and terminal. Oh, okay. Okay. So I get it. So let's open the terminal. Okay. Was that something? It should be Docker. I'm gonna call mine just Docker dev. Wait. I have two commands. I was gonna call Docker dev, and the other is gonna call. Alright, let's see what's happening. Alright.
Is it creates a Docker image from our Docker.
Alright, so Docker demo -2. Can I keep my node image and does this keep the node image in it? Let's see something. Guess I could. My no, I'm not gonna call it. Let's call it post log. Post log. That's what it. Voice log. API. Yeah. Also get the maybe 4/logs again does change there's 0.3 there's an F stance right now. F A 3. Okay. That's the F starting point. I guess I can read that. Not using air. That was good. Let's see. Let's specify the name of pod. Okay. So it's telling Docker that this is a Docker file that you should use. Okay. Okay. Alright, so what the
file.dev file. So it reads the instructions in here to create this. And we also give the image a name of my node image dev, because we're in development, and we're giving it also a version number of 0.0.1. Now, if we run this npm command, we should get some output.
Okay. open Docker first. Often, it's better to run this command in my terminal. But it's just not using terminal base code. Um, um, so, all the npm, I think it's Docker. Oh, yeah, it's not Docker. CPU. What's the combine? It's Docker dev. This Docker requires one identity. Docker dev requires one identity. I normally like to use a Docker compose. Docker build. I'm confused. Research. Okay, let me get this. I have no idea what this is. Let's not use somewhere else. See this. Yeah, it's probably stupid. Third and document search and name tag. I can't find other fixes. Use a virus can execute a Docker command that UX without the X, but complaints about UX bill requiring like a one argument. Are you sure that's something what it is? Well, how old is this video? It's using a different version of Docker. I guess I need to look up how to our command build. Okay, much. Okay. npm image build. Sorry, I mean Docker image build. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, so. Okay, so. Seems as if I need to put the image first. Is it? Why am I asking? Okay. Hope that. Oh, that's it. There you go. Save. Yeah, that's not. What was it? Save. Oh. Okay, so now it's saying unknown. I think there's a different way to open a terminal. I'll get the terminal. So it's saying it doesn't open. Okay, since I know what F does, I can look up how to space. Docker file view. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh come on. Yeah, here it is. Oh, it says file. Okay. So it's file. Slash file. So it's like, did they change the commands 2 years ago? For Docker build command. Okay. Go to long Docker. Oh. No. I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It's not easy answer this time. Is it? Yeah. Original Docker Logic. Let's see. So you see what's up there. Oh no. What is that application under cut? Docker. It's Docker 8 please. What is that type of lesson? I feel like I'm wasting time. That's it's I. Docker with file combines two separate options. I interactive and T. So open interactive terminal session inside a container. It's most commonly used with command like Docker now. Okay. Yes. So I need to develop the library. I don't have this inside of it. No. There's a no file. I don't know. Check it on that. It's not right. We don't need to learn that. It's a Docker option command like isn't it? That's correct. Let's try the last option. Do I consider we can go? Still let me know. Yeah. Yeah, yes, okay. Well, I'm sure it's Julia. Hey, that's oh, that's on. I know that was instant. It's clearly organized heavens. I don't know. I don't know. It's saying it doesn't. Wait. It was this. Wow, that was quick. Oh, Docker file. No file language. Oh, okay. Let's see why it's correct. It is correct. I think I missed the okay there. So I guess there's nothing wrong with the command. It shouldn't be that big there. It's just Node. Okay. Nice. Just I don't recommend it like that to prevent unified behavior. Really put the OS signals. Is warning. I guess that means that the image builds. Okay. Like using Docker because I own have some. If you guys know some, I'm a PHP guy, right? So that means yeah. I just rather use a Docker because this is crashing. It has been something that I've been dealing with for years. So I might.
So we'll do npm run docker build dev.
Let's use Docker.
And looks like we have an error right here. So get rid of this comma. Now let's try running this again. So npm run docker build dev. We could see everything being all the instructions in our Docker file being ran. So we could see we're copying over our packs.json, running npm install, and so on. So this basically indicates that our image was built successfully. And now let's check the presence of this image by actually running docker images. So this command lists out all these images. And of course, a lot of these are ones that I've been working on for personal projects, but one we're interested in is this one here, my node image dev. We can see it right here. We can see when it was created 17 seconds ago. The tag version is 0.0.1 and its size and so on. I believe lots of this size is also coming from the node modules. But now that we have our image up and running, which we can see, we need to create a container from it. And to do that, we'll use the docker run command. And we're also going to have a custom npm script to do this for a command. We need the node modules. But now that we have our image up and running, which we can see, we need to create a container from it. And to do that, we'll use the docker run command. And we're also going to have a custom npm script to do this for us. So I'll paste this in here. And this is a pretty long one. And
okay, so why wouldn't you create a Docker for 3000 man my C dot that the my node modules. Why is this Why couldn't you use a Docker that YAML file and then run that YAML? I don't get. Why is he taking this route? Creating node container. Let me use that. I don't like this. I don't like this. I do not have enough information. Okay. Image versus Docker container. Yeah. Okay. It's just some much needed reading. So, yeah. Don't want you to copy anything. I mean, not about stuff. If you're on, just okay. Okay. If you're a Docker, or if you're not a Docker, you may want to put Docker images from the container. The Docker images and containers have similar purpose to package and deploy software efficiently. They have different uses. Let's see some examples. Where is it? Yeah, I want to look for something. I want to hear the audio because it's I'm hearing about myself, which is very annoying. So if you hear me pausing, that's the reason. I keep hearing myself through all this, and I don't know how to turn it off. Oh, these are global. Can I add mountains? No. No. Filters. No. Okay, that's not, um, it's not it. I don't know. I don't know how to get rid of this foolishness. I don't know why they made that default though. Okay. Let me try to, let's see. And where oh, found it. I'm really, I apologize for that. You guys hear me? It's very bad actually. It's so hard, so bad. It's bad, it's bad. Do apologize for the bad audio. Yeah. It is what it is though. Um, it will improve. I promise. Let's go back to this article. Although Although Docker images are containers of single purpose for packaging the core software efficiently, they have different uses. An image is a snapshot of an environment while a container runs a core software. Oh, oh. I mean, I knew that, but I guess I never had it. It's one of those things that I didn't internalize. Think of a container shipping container for software. It holds important contents and files and programs so that an application can be delivered efficiently from producer to consumer. An image is more like a read-only manifest or a schematic of what will be inside a container. Docker uses images to create containers to run DOS applications. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't like this approach. Um, because you can, think, I don't think I need it. Okay, how long is this? I don't have the time to read through this entire thing. Okay, let's read it. Okay, where is it? Okay, one of the biggest benefits is that flexible with popular absolute dependencies into your memories. Tools are Docker, Flatpak, and Snapshot. Okay, this thing is hard. One hand is keeps the camera working. So maybe if I turn off, I don't know if I don't turn this thing. Maybe it's because it's serving us for. Okay. I'm not hearing myself now, so I should be able to talk better. Alright. Have the snapshot. Okay. And snaps all have the same goal of making it easier to build, manage, and distribute containerized software. Docker is similar to virtual machines in the way it creates multiple instances of an operating system. However, Docker lets you create containers that run on the same operating system. So, more containers than virtual machines can run on a given hardware combination. Multiple containers can run simultaneously, each based on the same or different images. Docker containers can even run with virtual machines. Docker provides an additional layer of abstraction and automation versus creating a virtual machine, making it easier to use. You can learn more about it. Docker popularity has increased among developers and system administrators because it encompasses application complete file system within its dependencies, with all its dependencies. This setup enables immutable infrastructure. It guarantees that the deployments are they will stay exactly the same no matter how many times you repeat operation. Container usage has soared over 90% adoption in the IT industry, with containerization now serving as the de facto standard for modern software development. A Docker daemon runs in the background to manage images, containers, and more. Okay, images are read-only templates containing instructions for creating a container. A Docker image creates a container to run on Docker platform. Think of an image like a blueprint or a snapshot of what will be in a container when it runs. An image is composed of multiple stacked layers, like layers in a photo editor, each changing something in the environment. Images contain the code or binary runtime dependencies on other file system objects to run an application. The image relies on the host operating system or its kernel, okay? For example, to build web. Come on, I know what the image is. As you said, the image is a snapshot of whatever you want to create. That's it, it's simple. The image contains the dependencies and everything you want, but what is it contain? Is an isolated environment where Let me finish reading this now. You can manually build images using Dockerfile text document containing all commands to create Docker image. You can also pull images from a central repository called registry or from a repository like Docker Hub using the command docker pull and then the name. When a Docker user runs an image, it becomes one or multiple container instances. The container initial state can be whatever the developer wants. It might have an installed and configured web server or nothing but a bash shell running as root. In practice, though, most images include some pre-configured software and configuration files. Docker images are immutable, so you cannot change them once they are created. If you need to change something, you'll have to start with a new container that includes your updates and then save these updates as a new image. Or you can use an existing image to start a new container and make your changes in this new container. After successfully building an application, Docker can further export images into other images. Images derived from each other are usually called parent and child images. To distinguish related images, you can use tags like Ubuntu latest or Ubuntu 14.0, for example. An image may have multiple tags, but each tag is unique. Images themselves do not run, but you can create and run containers from a Docker image. You can create and run container from a Docker image, but image themselves do not run. Makes sense. Okay, I think I have a higher level understanding of what images are. A container is an isolated environment where application runs without affecting the rest of the system and the system impacting the application. Okay. Because they are isolated, containers are well suited for securely running software. A database is a raw application that needs access to sensitive resources without accessing access to every user on the system. One of the main reasons I like to isolate, they call it containers, is I don't need to install these like I don't need to, like I can have db1, right? Let's close that db1. I can have db1 and I can just connect to a database and look at what. Okay, db1, I close it. We can have what is in a database and we can just connect to it rather than like doing all the MySQL. And if I need to use Postgres after it adds up, so that's the reason I like Docker. I don't really care about this isolation stuff because I've never been in a situation where I needed to isolate something for security purposes. Yeah, I just don't like the decision here. Let me look at something. If I'm close there. What is any documents and please apply? Yeah, this is what I do. A Docker Compose is a tool for defining and running multi-container applications. So keep an accurate streamline and efficient development and deployment experience. Docker Compose simplify the control of your entire application. Start making it easy to manage services, networks, and volumes in a single YAML application file. Then, with a single command, you can create and start all services from your configuration file. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Because with this, if I need to add something else on it, then I would need to extend this command, and it would become a huge command that I would have to somehow manage, which I think is where Docker Compose would come in to make it a lot easier to just go through that situation, that entire thing. So um, I'm just thinking that it's better to just do it this way with Docker Compose. So I need to figure out how to use Docker Compose. As an introduction to Docker Compose, I need to read documentation. Okay, so with a Docker Compose, you use a YAML configuration file known as a compose file to configure application services, and then you create and start all the services from your application with the Docker Compose. Say, just question I have, does a Docker Compose replace the Docker file containers, right? Before, what I know. Okay, how it works. Yeah. Configure application services. Okay, so doing the same thing about containers. It's a configure application services. Okay, so I guess it still need an image because think of the services as application dependencies. So I think it still need an image. The compose file or compose YAML file follows rules provided by compose specification and how to define multi-container application. This is a Docker compose implementation format. Okay. Default path is compose YAML preferred. Okay. That is placed in a directory. Compose support Docker YAML and Docker compose YAML. Compose the same thing. For backward compatibility for earlier versions, if both files is compose prefers the canonical. Okay. And multiple compose files can be merged together to define the application model. The combination of YAML files implemented and appending or overriding YAML in the namespace, and simple attributes and maps get overridden by the highest order compose file. This get merged by appending. Relative paths are resolved based on the first compose file parent folder. Whenever complementary files being merged are hosted in other folders. Okay. If you want to use other files or factor out parts of application module into separate compose files, you can also use include. This is useful for your compose if your compose application is dependent on another application which is merged by a different team or needs to be shared with others. Okay. Illustrative example. Defines three concepts of a line field. Sample of the non-native. Okay, I think I know something. If you're using Docker desktop, the Docker CLI is included by default. Using the CLI, you can manage lifecycle. You continue, define that file. The CLI commands enable you to start and configure application files here. To start all the services defined in that file, I will do that. Start down. I can select. Okay. Yes. Illustrative example. The following example illustrates the compose concepts outlined above. The example is non-native. Consider an application split into a front-end web application and a back-end service. The front-end is configured at runtime with HTTP configuration file managed by infrastructure. producing an external domain name under HTTPS server certificate injected by the platform's a secure secret store. The backend stores the data in a persistent volume. Both services communicate with each other and isolated back to your network, while the front end is also connected to a frontier network and exposes port 443 for external usage. So this would be a simple web infra, a simple project with container. I guess this could be the container and then these could be like read on that one. So usually read for the front end. Read plus write, persistent volume. This is talking about. Example application composed of the following part. Two service backed by Docker images, web app, and database. Oh, wait, this is where you specify the image. So I could actually have two images. Oh. Okay, one configuration HTTP injected into the frontend, one persistent volume attached to the backend Kubernetes. Okay. And okay, I think I have a better understanding of how to do some more targeted research around getting this to work. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to this. I am going to do what I guess I'm going to just create a folder. I'm gonna call it images, and then I'm gonna create a dev folder for dev images, and then I'm going to name that here. And this can be the node, and then I don't know if this is overkill. Right, but I'm going to do Docker okay file um okay dot db dot dev so I need to pull in MySQL. Now I can look up how to configure a MySQL image. Right. Stupid. Never use Postgres. But I rather work with MySQL just because I'm used to it. Okay. Oh, create MySQL image. And set image. Okay, I don't put Docker. Okay. I'll just set up 40 years of that. This is my recent. Can I just get that MySQL? Okay, because that Docker and my SQL image. See the docs. Let's see how to use. Oh, they're giving an example. So this is DB image MySQL Restart environment. Okay. Do I need to create a Docker file? It's like I'm stuck in this thing. Like, do I need to create a Docker file to get this? And then do I need to put? Do I need to do? I don't even know what version I don't. Oh, so supported a Docker file length. Okay, so let me look at one of these. I don't know. I'm just gonna pick a version. I'm gonna overthink it. Okay, so we can do this. Now, this Docker file is generated via apply templates sh. Do not edit it directly. Okay. Why does it have so much things in it? What is this? No, this is a Docker I need. Reported inspected Docker file. No. I'm sorry to confuse. I don't know how to. How would I add it to the image? Okay, but that's the same thing. Let me see what this guy did. Here, what is it? The Docker compose file is fucking, so what's next? Wait, what the hell is it? Oh, man, I just read the thing, but I feel like I didn't get it. It's basics. I need to learn it. I just want a short video. Switch code and slot.
This
See
is your
what the
brain
rest is
when you're
saying.
struggling to focus. And this is your
Okay.
brain when you're in the zone. But getting in the zone and staying there,
Hey,
that
why
feels
turn
more
on
like luck
volume?
than something you can control. So
Better
that's
than
why we
you-
made Brain
you know
FM.
what?
It's like a do not disturb setting for your mind. And it gets you focused in just 5 minutes using science.
Step number 9, Docker
Thank you.
Compose, JS or Python, environment settings, and everything else needed to run your trash code. You can bring that Lunchable anywhere. Wanted to add a database. What if we wanted to add a front end? How do we add that with Docker? Now you could combine all of them into one giant container, but I don't recommend that. A lot of people don't recommend that. Please don't.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone. But getting in the zone and staying.
Step
That's
number
it.
9, Docker Compose and Docker Volumes. Let's be honest here. This node example was really simple. Nowadays, babies in the womb can do this example. What if we wanted to add a database? What if we wanted to add a front end? How do we add that with Docker? Now you could combine all of them into one giant container, but I don't recommend that. A lot of people don't recommend that. Please don't do that. It's pretty stupid. Now the way people usually do this is they separate each of these services and put them in their own containers. And this is called a multi-container application. What an obvious name, right? But this creates a brand new problem. Now that you have multiple containers, you have to run those containers separately and you have to find a way to connect them all together and manage them. This is a lot of work and a lot of areas could go wrong trying to manage these containers. Lucky for us, a lot of programmers are lazy, just like me, which is why we have this tool called Docker Compose. Docker Compose is pretty easy to understand. It basically tells all your containers how to work together to create the full application. Let me show you a quick example on how to use it. Let's pretend we added a database to our notes.
Okay, there's something that I'm missing. Okay. Okay. If you're wondering, I have to ask you. Um, I don't think I get to take something. Um, but from what I gathered, I don't need to create a dock image here. Unless I was going to build that image from scratch, I guess. But without a Docker, Docker, Docker rig, enforce, I don't know. Is this correct? It's yellow. Okay. So, how this works, I could be documentations, and we need to release version. Okay, in this case, gonna just be backing. Backing image will be node in two. I don't make this one. Node in it. Node.js. Look at me. I think I had it here. Let me go. Reset. That's what am I doing? I can pay them with this again. Oh. Image, okay. Words. So we all want to use these version. And networks. What are networks? I think I have an idea. But I need to master. This is a image for development, so it's not nothing good. Networks. I don't think we need networks. I don't think we need networks. Yeah, I just don't feel that way. Okay, I'm confused with it. I'm confused again because it's like, how do I determine what to use? I have an image. When I run Docker, oh, this should have already stored. So when I run Docker compose, it should work. So, okay, so I guess I would have to put this one for the image. You know, I'm still confused. See, for that name, expose it and for that port. Um, network spring and buffer. Oh, okay. They said numbers, nothing. Networks enable multi-container applications connect with each other securely. So do I need? I don't think I need the secrets. I don't think I need the database to connect again. Because of course, and here, and do it. TV, and then image. Mine SQL. Docker. Okay, I understand it. And okay, restart. I don't use it. I don't use that on it. Who knows? Not really. Apparently. Okay. Okay, for environment, we're looking at this. Checking since it's a mouse, the password should be saved. Not that word. I think there was some other feedback that was needed. A little listed it. I would cause let me search. Okay. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit confusing because I need this. Maybe we need a command present. Oh, it's not pointed. So manipulations. What's happening? And then I'll do version. And the user will turn the password. Mm, hmm. Oh, the template for it. Yes. So the last question. Yes. That's not a good question. Okay, that's not this. It's not so the playlist one. Okay, so it's my flight sports. Um, so the port, I don't know. 80 to get up 3,000. Yeah, something weird is going on here. Um, I don't know. Um, is it possible to maximize system? Seems to be restarting. Why is it restarting? Should I? Let me, let me remove that thing. Oh, I need to specify these. Root password, allow empty password, random node password. Do I have to do that already? Okay. This is another um should I remove the host? Maybe I should remove the host and remove this. These according to the documentation, which should be on Discord. Okay, I think I need to detach maybe down. Why did this exist? No entry point, script point. Okay, so says it's not phone. Yeah, I need to look at that after I get the MySQL forward. Yes.